DeAndre Hopkins is still DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep.
The Chiefs is still the Chiefs. Now, they didn't cover last night, D, but you made that point perfectly yesterday. Feels like I always bet on the Chiefs, and they never cover for me. It was 9, almost 10 at some places. The Bucs actually could have won this thing in regulation if they go for 2 instead of kicking an extra point. It goes to overtime. Chiefs get a win. They just march right down the field. Baker Mayfield knew that was going to happen.
Yep.
But a couple different players had some breakout performances. Travis Kelce has a record-breaking 14 catches,
Damn.
100 yards. No tuds, but every single time he was throwing the rock, seemingly he was catching. Made some tough catches, made some big-time catches. Him and Patrick Mahomes over the last few games have been cooking and cooking and cooking. He hasn't been in the paint because he doesn't want to mess it up. He has so much respect for the groundskeeper crews and the paint people in the end zones that he says, you know what, my big-ass feet don't need to be messing up your paint. But he got the rock. Him and Patrick Mahomes have been cooking. This is a recipe for success if you're the Chiefs because there's nobody that can stop Travis Kelce if Travis Kelce wants to do his thing. Patrick Mahomes knows that. In the past, any big-time play that needed to be made, Patrick Mahomes is finding that guy right there on the screen. Feels like they're back to their bullshit. I think the touchdowns are going to continue to evolve. And Travis Kelce was literally at the Taylor Swift show on Saturday night and then in Indianapolis. Then on Monday night, he's in Kansas City, round up the boys before the game. Everybody taking, and then going for a record-breaking 14 at his oldest age, obviously. Every day you get older. Hey, Travis, keep killing him, baby.
Keep moving, Trav.
Keep killing him, Trav. What an absolute beast. Good for him. And another person, the DeAndre Hopkins experiment with the Kansas City Chiefs that we all kind of thought was going to come to fruition. Oh, what did the Chiefs need help at? Well, third down, intermediate stuff, and red zone. Okay, 3rd and 8. Patrick Mahomes finds time. Through the pocket. Who's he find? D-Hop.
Damn.
Massive catch radius. That's insanity. Who would have thought that D-Hop would be that great? Did everybody know you get DeAndre Hopkins for a fucking 5th rounder? Legit. That was as soon as he was traded. We wondered, is this guy really only worth a 5th rounder? Then I heard from the internet, heard from Twitter, heard from fans. Guy's washed.
Long in the tooth.
No ball.
Guy stinks.
He's old.
Guy went to Nashville, started hanging out with country musicians.
Right.
Doesn't know how to play football anymore.
That's right.
Well, that one catch that he had there, worthy of it. Obviously, if he does it later in the season and wins him a massive game, they're going to say it's worth it. He also will go and have 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, 3 plays later after that big first down, touchdown. 3rd down, red zone. DeAndre Hopkins helping out the Chiefs. Then what happens later? Remember the Titans? He said it was an honor to the Titans. Very thankful for his time there. I think it's very clever and very well thought out. And obviously, Travis Kelce brings some attention. D-Hop over top. We're going to work together going forward. And then in the 4th quarter, need one. Who do you go to? 3rd and goal, 3rd down in the red zone. D-Hop. Like this is the Chiefs being the Chiefs. The Chiefs remain undefeated, and they're alone at the top, aren't they?
yeah.
They are alone at the top
Yes,
as
they
the
are.
only undefeated team left, and they're the only team that's going for 3 straight Lombardis, which no team in the history of the NFL has done.
Speaking of those receivers, we saw D-Hop step in with the Kansas City Chiefs, gets traded there mid-season, obviously comes up with some huge plays. He and Patrick Mahomes seem to already have a great relationship. What's it like? I know you had Devontae come in, you hit it off right away, but you have such history. What's it like, I guess, if you're like a new receiver steps onto a team? How tough is it to get on the same page with those guys?
It depends on who the guy is, honestly. I think there's certain guys that can fit in any system. I saw a stat last night. He's got, let me get my numbers right. Was it 90 touchdowns or 80 touchdowns? It was a round number base of 10, but I think it said 14 different players have thrown touchdowns. I think he had a streak of 1,000-yard seasons with, was it 4 different quarterbacks? I want to say
4, I think it was like 6.
Well, I mean, it was like 4 in a row with 4 different. It was a wild stat.
Yeah, but I think there was 2 of those seasons had split quarterbacks. I think there was, so I think it was like 6 quarterbers or whatever in the entire 4-year run.
Listen, all this to say is that he's a special player. I've always enjoyed watching him play. He does some really incredible, subtle things to get himself open. He's got all the little tricks, releases. So I'm not surprised. I mean, obviously Patty's an incredible player. But D-Hop is, he's a Hall of Famer, and that's what he'll be when he's done. He's done it at a high level. He's done it without practicing, for a long time too, which is incredible. But, Larry Fitzgerald used to tell me about him all the time when they got to play together. And in Arizona, just the type of guy that he was, and the athleticism and the feel. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to have D-Hop, on the team. We obviously never pulled the trigger, but yeah, phenomenal player, and looks good in 8. He's looking good in.
He does look good in 8.
Like
8's a good color or a good number for guys, and also like everything Patrick Mahomes needed. It feels like D-Hop helps with.
Yeah.
They needed help on third down. They needed help on intermediate stuff. They needed help on the short stuff. Red zone, they needed help. It's like he immediately helps everything. Did you feel that way with Devontae, too, for certain situations? And we talked about it on Friday, but you doing this to him, it felt like the old days. It felt like the old days.
Yeah.
And with G, obviously, your relationship with Garrett, who is obviously an absolute dog. Is there moments where it's nice to have that guy? Like Patrick Mahomes, he threw that in triple team. That was 2 weeks together. They're 2 weeks together. They're going in to score on a big game. He throws that in triple coverage for him. Is it nice to have that rapport that quickly and to have Devontae back for certain situations?
Well, it's nice to have guys that have great feel. Obviously, both Tay and D-Hop, they got really incredible feel for the game. Kind of know, if you watch the play that D-Hop had, it looked like he's running a basic from the right side, and then he just kind of feels the open spot and takes it up. I think there was a mention last night, maybe they talked to Pat, that said something about his body language is easy to read. And I think that's a really underrated part of the quarterback-receiver relationship, is knowing based on release patterns or when you see the guy at the top of his route, kind of what angle he's going to come out on, or what type of angle he's going to be exiting on is really important. Like the touchdown to Tay on Thursday, he had texted me about that play during the day on Thursday, which was cool. But he also, his release was pretty obvious, and not just it was a read route, not just what he's going to do, but what angle he's going to come out on. Part of that's we played 8 years together, but the other part is he just, the way that he practices is the way that he plays. So everything that happens on the field on game day is stuff that he works on hard in practice. I think that's a really important part of being a professional. I knew right away, based on his 1-2, that he was going to take it over the top and take it on that angle. So I could have, thrown that one blind, to be honest with you, just because a great receiver can do that for you. They can do that for you. They can basically tell you where to throw the ball. This is my release. Now throw it here. And I think that's what the great players do. And then they add a little subtlety to it. One of my favorite plays from D-Hop last night was, I think, when he caught you just showed the clip, that caught the Omaha there. And he's setting up the DB to miss the tackle, and it's a little play. But if he stops short there, it's, I don't know what the 2nd and 3rd and 1, but he kind of like hesitates. What are they in here? So it's 2nd and 6. You get tackled there. It's 3rd and 1. Instead, you spin out of it. Not just that, but you're on the you catch the ball on the plus 38. Now they got Butker as a great kicker, but if you don't get that 3rd and 1, they got Vita Vea, they got big bodies inside. Now. No, and make a guy miss. Now you're in for sure for Butker. It's like damn near automatic range where he's at now. And now you're 1st and 10. The whole, just the whole idea changes. And it's just because he made a little subtle, like hesitate, caught the ball, knew what DB was, knew what the angle he was going to be on. And that's just stuff you can't teach. That's just a feel. That's just an instinct. And it's little plays like that win football games consistently. And, he's obviously a talented player. I love talking about D-Hop. He's a great player.
Aaron, we get so confused. It seems like every ex-player, and you're a current player still, obviously. You're old as shit, but you're still a current player. But anybody that's been around, anytime these trades happen, and it's like great player goes for like a 4th rounder, I'm like, are you fucking? Yes, I'll give up a 4th rounder for. And Randy went for a 4th rounder.
Yep.
And it's like, I've always been baffled at how much some teams value these draft picks, like 4th, 5th, or 6th rounders. It's like Mingo going for a 4th rounder here down to Dallas from the Carolina Panthers. All anybody on the internet saying is a 4th rounder, 4th rounder. The guy was a 2nd rounder last year. He's got 2 rounds left. Like, people hold these picks in such high value, and then how do you put a value on D-Hop knowing after playing for so long that in overtime I'm gonna make a quick play? Like, I just feel like you get an experienced guy, you get him. That's why today is such a big deal, especially if you want to go on a run. But not everybody feels that way, Aaron. Not everybody feels that way.
Well, I mean, I played 18 years in Green Bay. I know how teams feel about draft picks.
Hey, they're still going, though. They are still going. Now,
they are, and they've made some great picks over the years.
Absolutely.
But there were a couple times where, maybe bringing in a Marshawn Lynch, or maybe just that one guy to put it over the edge may have been worth it. But
that would have been fun. That would have been
You
fun.
never know. You never know. You never know how it's going to jive in the locker room. That's the other part about some of these veteran guys. You never know how it's going to fit in the locker room. You know, is the guy going to fit in? Is he going to be part of the fabric of the culture? Is he going to make the culture better? Is he going to take away from it? So you never quite know with these things. That's why sometimes it's a crapshoot. But once you get it, it is interesting. I feel like draft picks are so important post draft. Like when they're thinking about the next year, you're into the season now. We've played 9 weeks, and now they're a little tight with some of these, some of these picks. You know, some of the like you said, Mingo going for a fourth when he was a second, and I don't know what D Hop went for, but Tay was a conditional third. You know, like that's a superstar going for a third round pick.
Yeah, guaranteed. He's already. We know.
Mm-hmm.
We know what we are getting here.
Yep.
Now, granted, the price is a lot more than a rookie contract, which is why the Saints potentially want to move on from Marshawn Lattimore, and they pick up a third and fourth because their salary cap is in complete hell. But anytime these trades happen, it's amazing how like GMs and some fans feel versus like ex-players. Like you bring Marshawn Lynch in any locker room and be like, all players are like, yup, we give Marshawn for a fourth rounder. He will fit. We will make that work. But not everybody feels that way. It's an interesting dynamic, but teams that are going are going.